if you're a brand on Amazon looking to go from 1 million to 10 million in revenue, keyword domination is going to be one of the biggest things you need to master. And in this video, I'm joined by an expert, Brandon Young, who has mastered keyword domination. And in this video, he's going to break down step by step exactly how we identify which keywords to go after and how to go after those keywords and measure the impact of your actions and see if it's actually getting you to dominate those keywords. Brandon, walk us through how you think about keywords, how you identify the right keywords. How do you benchmark them? How do you take action? All of that stuff.
Yeah, I think the first thing to say is that not every keyword is built the same. And I think that a lot of people will draw arbitrary lines in the sand and try to treat them all the same, right? The reality is the specificity of every keyword is different. And so we used to call it relevancy, but the reality is like we were changing that term to specificity, because the more descriptors within the keyword, the long tail keyword, the more it's going to convert for you. The more likely it is specific to your product, the more likely someone wants to click on it and buy it. And so you need to understand how specific is a keyword. First of all, we're going to mine them by looking at the competitors. So within Data Dive in particular, you pull up all of the competitors that are selling well. Ignore the guys that aren't selling well because they're not showing up anywhere, right? They're not performing. But what you want to know is, how are my competitors getting their sales? The top 10, 15, 20 competitors, let's put them all together and let's find those keywords that are driving sales.
And guys, Brandon and I did a full masterclass on exactly this. So we're not going to go into too much in depth in this video, but watch this video. It's going to cover exactly how to pick those competitors, how to run and get the master keyword list and all that good stuff.
You need to bucket these keywords into a few different buckets where you have an acceptable conversion rate based on how specific the keyword is. So I'll give you an example. If you've got a keyword that's a long tail keyword, there's a lot of specific attributes in there, it's going to convert higher, but generally it has less search volume. So you need to be accepting of that, know that it's going to perform better, but you still need it as a foundation, because the way that Amazon gives you attribution for ranking is going to be that every single time there's an add to cart, a click, a conversion, you're going to get some amount of credit, some amount of ranking credit across thousands of keywords based on the match type. So let's say I've got a dinosaur toiletry bag for little boys, right? There's a lot of different attributes in there for that keyword. I'm going to get, for dinosaur keywords, dinosaur toiletry bag for little boys, toiletry bag itself, even the main root, I'm going to get credit based on the match type. So you get a lot of credit for a phrase match. You get a little bit less for a plural match, and then even less for a broad match. So you're going to want to target those keywords and understand where you're at. Now, how do you know whether you're performing well? You have to pull up the SQP report, the Search Query Performance Report. And just recently, since we last had our conversation, we built the SQP report into Rank Radar specifically because it is one of the main things you need to check to know, am I performing better or worse than my competition? I've got a keyword that is less specific where I'm converting at 7%. You might think to yourself, well, that's not good enough. Let's draw a line in the sand. Anything below 7%, I need to turn it off. And you face this from clients all the time. You're like, hey, I need a target A cost. I need a target conversion rate. And it's the most frustrating thing ever, because the reality is, compared to your competition, you're crushing it. That's where the SQP report comes in, because it's like, hey, my conversion rate is 7%, but you know what? My competitors are at 4%. Put your foot on the gas, rank for that keyword. But if you take your foot off the gas, it's going to hurt thousands of keywords that you need that fuel. You need the ad spend to rank.
Yeah, and let me recap that, right? So step number one is go and pull all the keywords from your top competitors. So use a tool like Data Dive, load in top 10, 15 competitors, build the master keyword list. Now, the master keyword list is going to be comprised of high search volume, more broad keywords that have, way more search volume. However, conversion rates are going to be low. Do not compare them with the longer tail, higher search intent keywords that are going to probably convert way better, but they're just going to have less volume. And so you need to work with both, and you need to, within your acceptable amount of investment, right? Like it might be more expensive to go after these bigger keywords, but go after both, right? Because both are going to serve different purposes. Now, make sure that before you do any of this, you optimize your listing. So, you can use Data Dive or any other tool. If those keywords are not in your listing and you're not getting indexed for those keywords properly, you're never going to rank properly for those keywords, because Amazon's saying, hey, I looked at your listing, I looked at the campaigns you're running. It doesn't seem like your product is relevant for those keywords. Why would Amazon show us? It's not going to be a good customer experience. But if we take those search terms, make sure that our listing is optimized, and you can do that easily with Data Dive, then we're starting from a good point. Then you use Rank Radar to say, okay, let's load, I'm going to do 10 main keywords, 10 long tail keywords. Let's load them up into Rank Radar, benchmark. How are we doing in terms of organic rank, in terms of sponsored rank, which is now the newest release that you guys have? And how is my search query performance report data? Meaning, let's say there's 1 million impressions. What percentage, million impressions for that keyword across all the different competitors? What percentage am I getting? So if you show up position 1, you should get a pretty substantial percent. If you show up position 100, you're going to get 0.001%. So benchmark, I'm getting 0.5%. And then what do you do from there?
Yeah, so I mean, if you're not on the first page, that's a big issue. And so within the reason that we put it all together with your organic ranks on Rank Radar is because the number one, you want to know, am I indexed? So to your point, conversion rate optimization is step 1. Am I converting better or worse than my competitors? If not, if you're not performing better, go fix it. Because you don't want to run ads to something that's not converting. You're just lighting your money on fire. Step 2 is going to be the indexing, which you just talked about, which is going to be, am I even indexed? Does Amazon think I'm selling that product? And if I am not indexed in the top 30, generally there's like 3 positions you can be. Top 30 means you're doing something right, you're indexed, you might need to spend more money. 30 to like 55, 30 to 60 is what I call the not sure zone. That's where Amazon's not sure you're selling that product, but you could be. So what happens there is that dinosaur toiletry bag for little boys. I might have little boys over here, I might have dinosaur over here, and I might have toiletry bag here, right? Amazon says, well, most of the elements are in there. It could be relevant, but I'm not sure it's a dinosaur toiletry bag for little boys. So what I need to do is go write that phrase into the back end of my attributes or into my listing somewhere and make sure I'm getting that exact match, because the exact match is going to give you the most ranking juice, the most ability to rank for that keyword. Then that should unlock the credit you've already accumulated from your performance. So having it all together, understanding what my benchmark is, am I performing better or worse from a conversion rate, add to cart, impression share? Am I ranking in a position where Amazon knows what I'm selling and I have the ability to impact that rank? And then putting your foot on the gas. Am I spending enough on this keyword? Am I targeting it at all? Right?
And I like that you mentioned listing optimization, because a lot of people will do everything we're talking about and then be unhappy with the results, because what we're talking about is simply showing your product to more people. If I show you this product and it's ugly, it's bad, it has bad reviews, it's $1,000 and the average cost is $30, no one's going to buy it. And so ads and SEO and all this stuff can only show your product to people. Then they have to click on it, which is based on usually main image, price, reviews and star ratings, discounts and coupons. And then once they're in the listing, we also have to convince them to buy. So am I selling the product all through the images? Do I have a good brand story, premium plus content? Did I mention all of the specific features that if I'm looking for a certain toiletries bag, maybe it's a travel one, is it clear enough for TSA? Things like that. So the entire listing needs to be well optimized. You need to have a good amount of reviews. And keep in mind that if you do this today and you have 300 reviews, a year later, when you have 800 reviews, all the results are going to be different. And so it's 50-50. So keyword domination is showing to more people. The other half of it is they need to be enticed to click on you and convert for any of this to work. Now, we've optimized the listings. We've optimized the SEO. We've started tracking the search terms. We're now launching campaigns to go after those search terms. And we're noticing that our rank is improving. Do we want to keep sponsored and organic rank high? Or is there a certain point where organic rank is high enough, we try to start bringing out that sponsored?
Yeah, the topic is ongoing for debates amongst everybody around cannibalization, right? So am I cannibalizing my organic sales by having my my ad show up right next to my top of search? So my ad is here and my organic position is here. Am I taking away sales or am I getting more sales? Is it necessary to keep that ad on? Now, I would say that you can start to reduce maybe by limiting the budget on a daily basis. So you can move that into a day parting campaign. You can move it into some limited budget campaign. So we like to structure these different campaigns with portfolios. And then you can do a portfolio maximum per day. And you can, or you could just do it per day per campaign. But I would say that it's still important to try to make sure you're getting enough attributes for that big keyword that you're ranking well on with a lot of long tail keywords. So those higher converting keywords that perform well, the ACoS is low, and as long as you keep those on, maybe you can start to pull back on those bigger terms. but I wouldn't even do it all at once. So here's the strategy that I like to do, and you have your own as well, which is I'm going to reduce my budget only every other day. So let's say I was spending $120 a day on this campaign, and I'm top of search. Let me reduce it to $30 today, back to normal the next day. $30 today, back to normal the next day. If I don't see a decrease in my organic position, so tracking the organic rank, and I don't see a decrease in total sales, then I will maybe try to push that further, right? So it is a matter of just testing and seeing how far you can take your foot off the gas without sacrificing profits, revenue, and organic ranks.
Yeah, and you also want to make sure that by doing that, you're dropping your ad spend, because that's the whole purpose, is spending less, but also getting the same amount of total sales. And I completely agree. The way that I do it is we take the search term, we have a high organic and sponsored rank. I start lowering the bids, so I get a lower sponsored rank. And maybe they're going to see me once at the top of the search and then once in the middle or the bottom of the page. And if my ad spend goes down and my total sales remain the same, great. And the biggest catch with that is, can you actually isolate that was the only action that you took that resulted in the total sales being the same and ad spend going down? And that's what makes it the hardest, is because you have all these external factors, and a lot of us don't have the discipline to change one thing at a time. We usually want to change a lot. Like, you're going to watch this and you're going to be like, oh my God, rank top 10 keywords, launch 10 new campaigns, broad phrase exact, do all this shit. And then you're like, fuck, what caused what?
What worked, what didn't work? And you don't even know, right? Yeah. So having a scientific approach where you have a control and you're only making 1 or 2 max changes at a time, very difficult for a lot of people. Now, the other part of what you're saying when you lower the bid and you're showing up top of search and rest of search, go check. Something people don't check often enough is that placement report. How am I performing top of search versus rest of search? Because your conversion rate might go down. So you're spending less money, your conversion rate starts to dip. That could be a way that could be something that starts to impact your organic ranks too, is that your blended average of performance goes down. So knowing where you perform where, using multipliers, making sure you're getting enough impressions to keep the organic rank up, it's a delicate dance. But the external factors was awesome, what you just explained. We're trying right now to build the best niche tracker on the market that's going to monitor your competitors, because when they turn on a lightning deal, they lower their price, they change their main image, they turn on a bigger coupon, right? All of those things are going to impact your ads, because you're showing up right next to them and all of a sudden they have a strike through, they're running a limited time deal, they've got a nice big red badge. Your ads stop performing for a week if they're running a 6-day or 7-day deal, right? Like, so you need to know that they did that. It wasn't you, it was them. How do you counteract it? How do you steal back some of that thunder back from them? What do you do there?
Yeah, that is a very good point. Usually I like to stay a little bit more steady with the external factors. If I see that the performance of let's say I'm performing well, my conversion rate is 25%. 3 competitors add discounts, add coupons, start doing these things, and my conversion rate drops. It's one of 2 things. I'm either going to try and match that price drop, so start lowering my price and seeing if that can bring the conversion rate back up and my profits and sales back up. If that doesn't work, I'll start to bring down the ad spend just a little bit, not too low so that I'm not losing all my ranking, but just to weather that, that certain period where when I show up and I have 3 competitors next to me with significantly lower prices, I'm not converting. If I show up a little bit lower and a customer skips those competitors, goes down, finds me, and then clicks on me, I know that they've had a much higher buyer intent and they're more interested in me, versus if I'm still up with the competitors who have a lower price.
Yeah, it's a great point. And so this is the dance, this is the delicate nature. These are all the data points you have to look at. And it always just comes down to testing, right? So testing, what's working, what's not working, testing new campaigns, new product placements, new multipliers, new coupons, right? Like new price points.
Yeah. And you guys have heard me talk about the funnel. So again, the funnel on Amazon is more people see you, more percentage of those people click on you, and more of them converting. That results in growth on Amazon. Now, I'm working very closely with Data Dive, and they're developing a ton of amazing things. I'm going to leave the link in the description. I think there's a discount or something like that. But if you don't have Data Dive, definitely check it out. I'm doing a ton of content on how to use Data Dive. My entire team, our entire agency uses it because we have to make data-driven decisions. And Data Dive, I believe, is the most comprehensive tool when it comes to monitoring data. Not just, there's so many tools that have the data, but it's putting it in a format that makes it very easy to monitor here's the keywords you should be going after. Here's the search volume. Here's the search volume over time. Here's your organic and sponsored rank. Here's what percentage of impressions and conversions you're getting versus your competitors. Here's which match types you have that keyword present. Maybe, you have a keyword and you're like, oh, I'm not ranking so well, but you notice that you only have it in exact but not broadened phrase. And you could add those match types and then get more visibility and then, get better ranking. So Data Dive is the most comprehensive tool we found. I never plug anything that I don't personally use a lot. So link in the description. And if you guys want me and Brandon to make more videos, in the comments, let us know what videos you guys want us to put out. So thank you, Brandon, for
Appreciate you, bro.
All right.
All right.
See you guys in the next one.